Welcome to Divorce and Relationships Decoded, the show that takes the guesswork out of love, loss, and everything in between. Hosted by me, Jennifer Perri, a CDC-certified divorce and empowerment coach, and Dr. Deborah Wilder, a divorce and relationship expert. This is the place where real conversations meet expert advice. So get ready to decode divorce and relationships like never before. Divorce and Relationships Decoded starts now. Hi, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Divorce and Relationships Decoded. I am one of your hosts, Jennifer Perri. I'm a CDC certified divorce coach, and I am here with my friend, partner in crime, colleague, my buddy, Dr. Deborah Wilder, who's a divorce and relationship specialist. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Always have a good time with you.
So today we're going to talk about something that I think is a very interesting topic, and I can't wait to hear your feedback on it, Deborah, too, because it's really talking about the role of rituals in healing after divorce. And I've been divorced, you've been divorced, and there have been things that we have done that have allowed us to get into the next chapter, get through what we've gone through. And I'm interested. Let's kick off this topic with you. When you went through your divorce, what rituals did you start? Did you keep in place? What things did you find yourself doing to help you through the healing process?
I think rituals are really helpful in marking different places in our lives. We have life cycle ceremonies and things like that, but with divorce, it is an ending, and it can feel abrupt, or it can feel like it's lasting forever. But some people have rituals for healing that might be writing a letter to yourself, writing a letter to your ex-partner and burning it. Or some people burn their wedding gowns. Some people sell their jewelry, or they pack up pictures or things like that. There are all sorts of rituals that people can do. And I know for me, I guess rituals and maybe mile markers. I know for me, when I was thinking about this topic today, as we were talking about it, one of the first, I guess, things after I was divorced that really was one of those moments that I won't forget was the first time I bought a piece of furniture without having to consult my ex-husband or husband at the time. And it was a sofa. And I just remember thinking, and we didn't have any issues like that. We didn't have any, I got to ask him for everything. It wasn't like that, but it was the largest independent purchase post-divorce that I had made without having to consult anybody. And it was a very liberating feeling. It was a sofa. I think my house was on the market, and it was staging it and all of that, and bought a sofa. And it was just a very liberating feeling. So to me, that's like a ritual, maybe a purchase after divorce that feels liberating, or that makes you feel like you are more autonomous or independent. But that was a big deal for me then. And this was maybe 18 years ago or so. It's been a long time. I used to be on the board of an organization called Visions Anew. And it was an organization of a bunch of divorce professionals. And we used to have retreats, and they were wonderful. And all manner of divorce professionals would come and speak. And there were a number of women. It was like a 2-evening, 3-day, 2-night experience. And at the very end, there was a big, a garbage can. And we would all write things, pains, hurts, difficulties that we felt. And it was a very emotional experience, but one by one, we would throw our pieces of paper and there was a fire in the garbage can. And so we would throw all of our pieces of paper in there, and those pains symbolically would go up in smoke. And it was a very, again, emotional, releasing kind of feeling. But these are the rituals. I think it's important to have rituals in our lives, or to have those mile markers, or to have those ceremonious things, behaviors, or things that we do that can help us delineate maybe sometimes before and then after. So I'm curious with you, maybe what kind of experiences you might have had, rituals or mile markers that you experienced as you were going through your divorce and changes in your life?
I think the decision making is always a big one when you're left to not have to verify anything. The best one too is I'm going to go and I'm going to eat at a place that I want to eat at. It's not like where you just say, oh, I don't care wherever I go. I think that's still one of the hardest decisions families or partners can seem to make is where are we eating tonight? Or when we go out, where are we going to go? Just taking back that level of independence, because regardless of how your relationship ended, whether it was divorce, separation, or you just walked away from one another, whatever it is, like you still lose a piece of who you are. But for me, it was, okay, now it's me. What do I want? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? Do I want to go hang out with a friend? Do I want to go and do something? It was really getting back in touch with who I was as a person. And sometimes you come out of that depending upon how long you've been with somebody, and you're like, I don't even remember who I am, who I was before that. I have flashbacks of who I was before my first husband did so much damage to me, but they were just flashbacks. I can't really remember exactly who I was and how I carried on in my life. So I think for me, it's always been just coming back and spending time with myself and realizing, okay, this is now you. Like, you are responsible for what happens. You're responsible for next steps. You're responsible for all of those things. So it was getting in touch and re-identifying who I was. Now, obviously, I'm remarried and very happy, but there's still things that I think for myself that I do and that I hold sacred. The time in the morning that I spend with myself, doing my meditation and my affirmations and my journaling. And this morning I posted an Instagram story because I was outside, out back, having my coffee, doing my little meditation, looking and listening to the birds. And then my dog comes out and she's like, barking at a woodpecker. And I'm like, no, ma'am, this is mommy's time. You just, because now it's a very sacred thing for me. That has become one of my non-negotiables. This is my time, and it will hopefully continue to be that way for the rest of my life. I do have clients that will do cord cutting ceremonies, or they will do the burning of the dress, or some of them have gone out to Vegas and have shot at the wedding pictures and the dresses and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a level of finality of it's taking some level of control back. And I think for most women, it's that independence of, it's me now. It's me time. My priority is on me, even if everything ended well. Yeah. And actually one of my clients too was telling me she went into one of these. It's like a room where you can break stuff.
Break room.
Yeah. It's not like an escape room, but I think it's held at the same type of place. And she was like, I was breaking dishes. I was beating a car. It was so great. She's I want to start doing it like once a month as like therapy. Yeah. I think there's something about the release. There's something about the finality of it. I love the writing of the letters and burning it. I've actually done that with people that were in my life that have hurt me one way or another. And my forgiveness was a gift to myself, more so than they're not over there worried about what they did to me. But I did the letters to them and burnt them. It's that visual representation of it's done. You're just putting it away, trash can, you're throwing it away, whatever it is, it's done.
I would say in my experience working with people, it's more helpful than anything. I think it's empowering. There could be certainly residual feelings that we need to work on around the endings and things like that. But usually it's empowering. And it could also include changing the locks on your doors. It could include getting Wi-Fi in your name, or getting all the utilities in your name, or separating the bank accounts, or whatever those things are that have to be done or that are done after a divorce. There is a sense of autonomy often. And of course, there's still sadness and grieving much of the time. I've seen divorce parties and they go out and celebrate being divorced. When you're getting married, you have the sash, bride to be divorced is on the sash and things like that. But these things are really, I think, helpful in trying to regain our sense of who we are. And you were talking just a little while ago that it's hard for you to remember who you were that much before your first marriage, which certainly did a number on you. And in the process of divorce, even if it's an amicable one, we still can discover either rediscover ourselves or discover who we are now. And usually those are positive things. I know, and I'm sure you've had these same experiences. I would say, especially working with women. I work with men too. Men can certainly be in emotionally abusive and narcissistically abusive relationships. Most of the folks I work with are women. The sense of pride that these women end up feeling in themselves as they progress through healing is amazing. They are so much stronger than they ever thought that they were or could be. I know it takes time. This isn't to be rushed, but at some point it's important to know that going through these rituals, regaining someone's sense of self or independence or autonomy is empowering, and that really helps with the healing. And these mile markers or these rituals can really be beneficial. They can help to release some, and we may have to write 100 letters and burn 100 letters or whatever it is, or write something and just put it in a box, and you could revisit it anytime, but at least there it's in a box. So these rituals, I think, are very, very helpful. And like you were saying, I don't have to check with anybody about what I'm going to have for dinner or where I'm going to go or anything like that. I know for me too, and maybe this is just getting older, I love when I get to go to bed early. Like if I am in bed, I usually finish with work around 7 or so, and my kids are all in their 20s. I don't have little ones. I hope someday I have a grandchild to take care of at some point. For now, I don't have to take care of any little people. And so it's nice to have just that time. And it's nice to share time. I'm not taking away anything. If you're in a healthy relationship and you've got a partner and then that's fantastic. I'm not comparing. But to have even time, as you say in the morning, to have your coffee, to be able to elevate something. And I say it's turning the ordinary into the extraordinary, whether it's a cup of coffee in the morning. And I love having my coffee in the morning, or just whatever those things are, sitting out back in your house and just being able to reclaim time or use time that we might not have had otherwise, or might have felt guilty about doing something personal when we were in a relationship or in a marriage that wasn't such a good marriage. So reclaiming and doing the rituals are empowering things to do. And I would encourage anybody who's going through a divorce to think of those things, that even those little things, because those little things mean a lot. Those little things that make a difference, that make you feel like yourself again. Just little things that you enjoy until you learn to feel like yourself again. Or the bigger things, again, like changing your locks, changing all the utilities and putting them in your name, or buying furniture, or whatever it is that help us continue to step into a better life.
There's a movie, and I have to figure out what the name of the movie was, but Jack Nicholson, I believe, is in it. And I think his wife passed away, and his wife evidently had been a very strict wife. And there's a scene where I guess she used to make him sit down to pee. And I'm just sharing it because it's absolutely hysterical.
Oh, no.
And then he stands up, and then he just starts peeing everywhere.
Oh, my God.
And you can hear the inner dialogue that he's having in this visual representation of, nope, I don't have to do it anymore. And I have a very strict morning routine. And it's a routine that I try to share with all my clients too, because for some women, it's just, it becomes a grounding and a safe place of, this is me, this is my life. I should be the most important relationship I have, and understanding from that place every day and filling up yourself. If you want to pour yourself into the lives of other people, you have to take care of you first. And I think it's very important. So I think routines and rituals and setting up milestones are so important. And if anybody who's listening to this is sitting there going, I don't even know where to start, like I'm still just, I don't know, taking a breath from what happens. Just realize that this next chapter can be as wonderful as you make it. It can be extraordinary. It can be amazing. You just have to make the choice. That's what it's going to be, because you've gone through whatever it is that you've gone through, and it's been probably traumatic. Divorce is one of the most traumatic things you'll ever go through in your life, just emotionally and financially. So getting to the other side of it and feeling, okay, I just need to take a breath I want you to take the breath. We want you to take the breath, but we also want you then to realize, okay, going forward, it is what you make it. And if setting up certain rituals or setting up certain routines allow you to take hold or reclaim who you are, and you can't figure it out, please reach out to us, because we have these conversations for a reason. We've both been through this, navigating this whole process, and shared a little bit about what our lives have looked like and how we do certain things. But obviously, if you need help just taking the next step forward, just please reach out. It was a great conversation. I always love hearing, especially when my clients come in and they've been divorced for a little while. I love hearing what they did and the finality of it all. And some of them have been very interesting. Very, very interesting. But I think more than anything, what I like hearing is that taking back ownership over their lives. That's what we want you to understand. Put yourself in the center of it and make sure that you're prioritizing your happiness, protecting your peace, and creating rituals and routines that are going to just help you move through to the next chapter of your life. But before we wrap up today, is there any other advice you would like to share?
One quick thing. I'm a big believer in being able to visualize what you want in the future. And it may just be, as you're in the middle of the chaos right now, it may be the worst time ever in your life and you can't even imagine getting out of it. This is the time to visualize sitting at your kitchen table in your home now, or imagining a future home. If you're not going to be able to stay in your home, sitting around and having that cup of coffee or having that cup of tea, just get an image, some sort of a visual in your mind that's realistic, that you would look forward to doing. Something that you're able to really put your finger on the pulse of at that moment in your mind, but it can be a reality. Being able to attach to a vision or an image or some sort of belief that something's going to happen in the future, being able to attach to that is very encouraging. And really, rather than just being stuck, but try to imagine what some of these things might look like in your future, because they certainly are possible. So using the images and the visuals in your mind can be very helpful as well.
Very true. Thank you again, my friend, for coming on. I always love having these conversations with you and getting your feedback and perspective on things. And for those of you that are watching, if you liked it, share it. If you haven't subscribed, shame on you. Make sure you subscribe. And please let us know if there is a ritual, routine, or something that is a part of your everyday or has helped you in healing from your divorce or relationship or breakup, that we would love to be able to share. And also know, for those who are watching and reading and listening, maybe something that they could pull into their life and use it as well. But we will be back again next week with another episode of Divorce and Relationships Decoded. If you have questions, please send them to questions@drdecoded.com. If you have a topic that you would like for myself and Dr. Deborah to dig into, please make some suggestions. We always love to hear your feedback. So until next week, bye. My friend. Bye. That's a wrap for this episode of Divorce and Relationships Decoded. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and empowering. If this conversation resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Remember, healing, growth, and transformation happens one conversation at a time. If you have a question, a story, or a topic you'd love for us to explore, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a note at questions@drdecoded.com. Your thoughts and experiences are always welcome here. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week for another insightful episode of Divorce and Relationships Decoded. Until then, take care and keep moving forward.